Request granted. Landing gear deployed. Docking successful. Engines disengaged. Ship released. Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete. Frameshift drive charging. Disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging.
It's about 800k tons right now.
Fuel scooping complete.
The only location that I specifically know of for a double musgivte hotspot is in 11331. So, and dude, right now, where the location is that we're going to be selling to is going to be, where the hell is it? What the hell did I do with it? Gateway. Gateway is currently where they are selling it at 886k, I believe it is, on EDDB. But yeah, so HIP 11331 is going to be our upper location. And to where we're going to be mining the double musgivte hotspots for core mining. We are in the glorious Python, commanders. So sit back, watch some YouTube. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Two.
And yeah, we'll get there. It won't really take us long. Yeah, this thing doesn't have the legs my Anaconda has, or even my Titanium Defender has, or my Aspen, but it is the best ship for,
Fuel scooping.
in my personal opinion, doing core mining.
Fuel scooping complete.
Only because it's got great hard points for it. It has the agility and the movability, plus it holds more than the Aspect Explorer. The Aspect Explorer would be the better choice, but if you want to dish it out like the Terminator, you're gonna want the Python Commanders. And
Three, two,
I mean, I could use the Anaconda for this exact reason. Like, I can literally just go to a station right now, transfer my Anaconda there, wait till I'm time, grab it, jump here in like 6 jumps. But this is not a engineered vessel.
frameshift drive charging.
Vessel. I do not have any engineered vessels, even though I can do the engineering.
Frameshift drive charging.
Chose not to, really. So another 4 jumps, and we'll have jumped 10 out of the 25. And then we'll have another 15 to go.
Three,
So
two,
we should be there, let's say like 15, 20 minutes, roughly. At least I'm hoping. Sit back, enjoy, let's get it going.
fuel scooping.
Grab gas.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
Yep, because as it sits right now, I'm pretty sure that I have...
Four, three,
I'm pretty sure on this I have 3 types, 3 6A cargo compartments, so, or 2 6s, or 3 6s, sorry.
fuel
5A
scooping.
fuel scoop, the best FSD drive,
Fuel scooping complete.
I could probably sell this thing for roughly, if I want to right now,
Frameshift drive charging.
about 140 million. And that's not even half of what I have. Like, bro, I probably put in 300 million into this goddamn thing.
Four, three, two,
Alright,
one.
stop it. Yep. 60. Yeah, one with the lighter thrusters for longer range. It makes my life easier, makes it so I can jump further. So I'm happy with that.
Frameshift drive charging.
And when we do take the jumps back, my dudes, we're gonna go to Tolan, and we're gonna get our Anaconda. And there, transfer to the Anaconda and make that jump in 5 times. 5 jumps. only good damn thing about the fucking Alexander. And yes, if you're wondering, at the South Station, it is a large landing pad accessible. So you're good there. You don't have to worry, oh well,
System
do I
scan
need a small
complete.
ship, or can I
Frame
just
shift
use
drive
the
charging.
Honda, or the Imperial Cutter, or the Federation flagship? It's all up to you guys, to be honest. But for the new people starting, this is probably going to be your best bet is buy an abrasion blaster and a seismic charge launcher and head out to HIP 11331 and I will show you the planet that we're going to be at and everything things, and I will show you what to look for when it comes to mining, at least for cores. I'm still learning, to be honest. I'm not any type of professional at it, but I have been doing it for a while now, so I've gotten better at it. I know pretty much what to look for now. I'm not just shooting my prospecting with it at every goddamn rock that glows. Honestly, I can care less about them. You really want the ones that are real bright or yellow off into a distance. And when you get up to it, it'll have black lining all throughout it, and it'll have like a red shade to it. On top of it, it'll be like a yellow, orange, red mix. It's definitely going to be a sight. Muscovite is very elusive. It's a pain in the fucking ass to find. It's not something that you can just hit up any pristine ring and find it. And if you do, you'll find little spots. And you go in there, you'll be lucky to find 4 or 5 gram asteroids that are cored for the muscovite. And then you'll start all over again. Like, you'll have to wait 3 hours for the game to reset the asteroids. And who wants to do that after the movie? Really? Seriously, bro. Who wants that? Nobody. Alright, that's who. If you're one of those commanders that is always out and open, have at it, bro, because I do not do open. I tried it, and I was interdicted every goddamn time.
System scan complete.
And finally, I just had enough of it, dude, so I made a private personal server session. I have a couple friends here that, you know, are in the session. Who do the same damn thing I do. We all just mine, make money, go on combat raiding missions, and yeah. But right now I'm trying to work on finding a
Frameshift drive charging.
fleet carrier. That's what I need to come up with 5 billion credits, which as it sits right now, I can easily do with the muscoviting. Now that it is up to damn near $1 million, if I drive my Anaconda, I can hold 600 tons. That would put me at 600 million, roughly, maybe more. But yeah, or even if I used up my Type 10 Heavy or my Type 9 Heavy, it would be donkulous stuff, because I could pretty much hold almost 1,000 tons with my Type 9, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's got no legs on it, bro. Like, that thing will jump half of the 19.4.
Frameshift drive charging.
Send my pee-pee. Send her a picture of a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. That shit would be fucking hilarious.
Fuel scooping complete. Frame shift drive charging.
Yep, I did. So I'm gonna have to edit this video.
4,
I can do that.
3, 2, 1.
Which one is smoking? The smoke 'em if you got 'em. Getting high. Out and see.
Fuel scooping.
Divide.
Fuel
A lot of
scooping
people
complete.
don't have the patience for mining. Little do they
Frame
not
shift drive
realize
charging.
it is way more lucrative than trading. It is way more lucrative than doing passenger missions. Because even look on passenger missions, bro, the only good lucrative spot is in the B1. But since they've updated a lot of shit in the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, mining has become way profitable. You want to make all that space shuttle converted?
Fuel
This
scooping.
is the way. Believe that shit. Because we are going to build.
Fuel scooping complete.
At least we're going to try.
Frame shift drive charging.
Drop on my phone. Heat same thing. Goes. Yes, we are freaking close.
4, 3, 2, 1.
NMLA Megaship becomes Marlinist flagship. The Megaship Steel Majesty has traveled from Madrid to the HIP 22550 system and been renamed as
Fuel scooping.
Fairfax Vision. The Wells-class carrier was originally owned by the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid and used as a base for the NMLA terrorist group.
Fuel scooping complete.
After a military defeat, the vessel's crew sought political asylum in the Marlinist colonies. The Steel Majesty later
Frame shift drive charging.
became the hub for Minister Aaron White's followers during the Marlinist Civil War. More recently, NMLA activists retook the ship and unsuccessfully tried to rescue their leader Theta 7. The
4, 3, 2, 1.
Marlin Standard published this statement from First Minister Octavia Volkov. I am delighted that the Marlinist consulate has negotiated with the Epsilon Fornarchis Empire Group to arrange for this megaship to be returned to us. We are renaming it in honor of my predecessor, Dr. Jenna Fairfax, who led many
Fuel scooping.
to safety after our mass exodus from the Empire. The Fairfax Vision is now controlled by the Free Marlinists of Korea.
Fuel scooping complete.
Faction that will represent the colony's parliamentary and diplomatic interests abroad. I hope that true Marlinism and our progressive Republican society can now flourish peacefully. A gift from a thief. Pilots Federation alert. Detective Eric Gunnarsson has claimed that the winking
Frame shift drive charging.
cat thief has something planned for the weeks ahead. After our investigation into the Joker's deck gambling circle, Wolf and I were hired to track down their stolen ceremonial playing card. The good
4, 3, 2, 1.
news is that we now have the card in our possession. We can hardly claim credit, however. It was posted to us by the one who stole it. The ancient Joker card arrived via a courier service with no data as to its point of origin. but the playing card now has text stamped on the back, which I
Fuel scooping. System
convinced
scan
is intended to be
complete.
a public message. It simply reads the hunt is on and is followed by two sets of
Fuel scooping complete.
numbers. 1, 2, 3,
Frameshift drive charging.
16th to 30th, 4, 5, 6, 23rd to 6th. At the bottom is a drawing of, you guessed it, a smirking, winking cat's face. It's speculation.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Of course, but some of these numbers must be dates. Perhaps this hunt is scheduled to happen over the next 3 weeks. Are we being invited to hunt the winking cat, or will something else be the prize? The black thief has been busy of late, purloining everything from prized artwork to prototype roads.
System scan complete. Fuel scooping.
Entertainment mogul Oscar Goldson recently reported that his private collection of rarities had been hit, and there are rumors that
Fuel scooping complete.
World Craft Corporation's vaults were somehow broken into. How that crime spree connects to this message is a mystery
Frameshift drive charging.
that we've yet to crack.
25 to 4, finally. I've gotten close.
The triumph of Salvation. Salvation has confirmed that his anti-Xeno superweapon successfully routed Thargoids from the Delphi, Maya and
4, 3,
At this fucking rate.
Merib systems. The following message was submitted to all news feeds. The Thargoid spearhead into human space has been severely blunted. Commodore Halloran coordinated the operation with military precision, and many loyal pilots acted swiftly to provide components for my unique technology.
fuel scooping.
At present, I am not able to deploy these weapons in other systems suffering alien infestation. Next year, we will
Fuel scoop disengaged.
deliver a
Frameshift
decisive
drive
blow
charging.
in the war against the Thargoids. I urge the peoples of the galaxy to unite behind my crusade. Aegis is finished. I am the only remaining defense for humanity. I am Salvation.
3, 2,
Independent pilots and anti-Xeno squadrons have been asked to continue combating the remaining Thargoid vessels in the Colsac, Pleiades and Witchhead Nebula regions. Repair efforts are also still required in the Delphi, Maya and Merib systems.
fuel scooping.
Thargoids repulsed from 3 systems.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Pilots Federation alert. Salvation's anti-Xeno superweapons have cleared most Thargoid vessels from the Delphi, Maya and Merib
Frameshift drive charging.
systems. Pilots were asked to transport classified experimental equipment from the heart of Taurus in the Karato system to 3 other megaships owned by Taurus Mining Ventures. These components were used
3, 2, 1.
to prepare the large-scale weapons developed by Salvation to affect Thargoid technology. Vox Galactica published an intercepted message from Commodore Morag Halloran, commanding officer of the Musashi, the Flight Sentinel and Glorious Prospect megaships. This is Halloran. Operation Trihathlon has concluded with a code White 3 Alpha. Estimated target destruction in Delphi is at 27%, with full destruction
Fuel scoop disengaged.
of 98% of remaining hostiles. Scans underway for non-combatant disruption or casualties. Maya and Merib data to be submitted immediately to Central Analytics. Independent observers have reported that the majority of all
Frameshift drive charging.
Thargoid ships in the 3 systems have abruptly departed, with some wreckages found on planetary surfaces. This closely matches the event in the Cornsar system in September, when the anti-Xeno superweapon was first deployed. Pilots are requested to help with repair and rescue efforts for starports damaged by the Thargoids, Donar's Oak and the Oracle in the Delphi system, Obsidian Orbital in the Maya system, and Lee's Rest in the Merib system. The death of Leader 7. The NMLA's de facto leader and his closest followers have sacrificed themselves by destroying the Farm God cult's megaship Sacrosanct. The
Fuel scooping complete.
White hijacked vessel had been taken to the Madrid system by the remaining members of Vita Group, aiming to reunite with the NMLA. After this failed, ACT forces surrounded the Sacrosanct in the hope of rescuing the several thousand cultists being kept as hostages. Theta 7 broadcast a short video message where he uttered a single phrase, "The future will remember us." He was then seen to manually detonate a series of bombs, which ruptured the Sacrosanct's hull and split the vessel in two. It is believed that the weapons also distributed Thargoid caustic enzymes throughout the megaship, thereby killing its entire population. ACT has released a statement from co-leader Captain Saskia Landau. Tragically, we were unable to save the lives of the Thargod worshippers, despite several attempts to negotiate their safe conduct of the ship. Captain Castile's commando unit could not gain entry to the Sacrosanct in time, and we had no success trying to hack into its onboard computers. We can confirm that the most wanted terrorist in the galaxy is dead. But ACT's task is not yet complete, since there is much we still don't know about the NMLA. Our investigation will focus on learning more about their background, as well as targeting any surviving cells of activists.
But to be honest,
Intrigue surrounds recovered art treasure. Recent evidence suggests that some of the precious items stolen by the Winking Cat have been sold to private collectors. Crime correspondent Mira Bukovsky has been following the story for Vox Galactica. When the FIA raided the home of media magnate Elias Metaxas, they found the painting Terra Absentia by Zoe Okeki hanging in his chambers, a painting stolen by the Winking Cat in 3305. Metaxas confessed to purchasing the famous artwork for 22 billion credits via a series of anonymous dealers, none of whom could be traced. Coincidentally, there are rumors that an imperial senator keeps some statues resembling the missing New Dawn collection hidden within her mountainside chalet. And only recently, multi-billionaire Zachary Rackham was overheard inviting an investor to come up and see my Guernica. It seems that the thief has secretly sold these highly valuable treasures to private collectors. However, this is not typical behavior for someone believed to be a genuine connoisseur of fine art as well as a skilled larcenist. Perhaps there is an urgent need for huge sums of money, and since the Winking Cat has never stolen anything as vulgar as mere credits, this is the most ideal method. But what might the notorious criminal be planning? Vodal releases Scorpion SRV. SRV manufacturer Vodal today announced the official release of its new vehicle, the Scorpion. The first new mass production model offered by the company in many years, the Scorpion is designed for combat operations and troop support. It is widely understood that Vodal's acquisition by Core Dynamics in 3305 triggered the development of the new model, with the parent company's considerable financial resources made available to Vodal's engineering teams. Vodal's chief of design, Frank Enders, gave a speech at the company's launch event at Levinson Orbital in Batra. We are delighted to bring the Scorpion SRV to the market and are excited at its potential. Our marketing team anticipates huge interest from independent operatives and military forces alike, thanks to the Scorpion's impressive specifications. A focus on survivability provides the Scorpion's two-crew cabin with additional protection from harm. The plasma surge repeater and the proprietary Aculeus missile launcher work in perfect harmony when engaging shielded, armored targets. Meanwhile, the Scorpion's raw power offers exceptional torque, capable of handling harsh terrain and steep climbs. Core Dynamics CEO Owen McKenna also attended the event and was approached for comment. I'm really happy with how hard the Vodal team has worked on this new vehicle. They had clear goals in mind from the start, took Core Dynamics' feedback on board and kept us updated regularly through the process. I think the acquisition of Vodal was one of the last good decisions Jupiter Rochester made as head of the company. The Scorpion SRV is now available to purchase from military economy ports.
That's where we're going to be heading.
Support Salvation's counterstrike against the Thargoids. Pilots Federation alert. Salvation requires vital materials to deploy anti-Xeno superweapons in the Delphi, Maya and Merib systems. A message was transmitted from the Musashi megaship by its new commanding officer, Commodore Morag Halloran. The Thargoids have invaded 3 key systems, as Salvation anticipated. Preparations have been made to halt their advance, but there is an urgent requirement to collect classified experimental equipment from the heart of Taurus in the Karato system. Pilots must then deliver these shipments to 3 other megaships, the Musashi in the Delphi system, the Bright Sentinel in the Maya system, and the Glorious Prospect in the Merib system. It is crucial that all deliveries are made by early on Tuesday, the 14th of December. Without these
Flight assist off.
Welcome,
Flight
Commander.
assist
Please
on.
request docking permission before approaching a landing pad.
components, Salvation super weapons will not be
Commander, I must point out that our carrier's weaponry is far larger than yours. Retract your weapons immediately. Permission
affect
granted.
enough
Please
Thargoid
approach your
vessels to
designated
turn the
landing pad in
tide.
good time.
Commodore Hannaran was formerly a member of the Alliance Defense Force and was in charge of protecting the first expedition to the Coalsack Nebula in 3306. She is one of hundreds of naval officers and crew from all 3 superpowers who have resigned their commissions to offer their services to Salvation, believing that only he can defeat the Thargoids. Tributes gathered to honor Deval Air. Pilots Federation alert. The birth of Hadrian Deval's son has been
Landing gear deployed.
celebrated in grand fashion in the Parisa system. Praetor Leo Magnus, the new leader of Nova Parisa, publicly thanked pilots for delivering Chateau d'Aegean, HR 7221 wheat, Indy Bourbon and Yasso Condi leave to support these highly exclusive proceedings. Payment is now available from Dyson City Starport. Political journalist Cassia Carvalho discussed the arrival of Hector Mordanticus Deval in the Imperial Herald. As Emperor Hengist's illegitimate grandson and former enemy of the state, Hadrian Deval
Landing successful. Clamps engaged. Greetings, Commander. We are glad to have you.
has always been the outsider. Indeed, his newborn son's middle name seems deliberately chosen to remind the Emperor that she ordered Hadrian's mentor, Imperator Mordanticus, to be shot in cold blood. But over the last 2 years, Hadrian's position has gradually shifted from isolationist rebel to legitimized ally. He appeals to citizens who are unhappy with a female monarch, even more so now that he has a male heir. And he remains closest to the imperial bloodline, with most other Deval family members having been assassinated.
Landing gear
Ship has released. Restrict speed until clear of our carrier.
By the NMLA. Therefore, unless Arisa Lavigny Deval or Aisling Deval produce children, it's entirely possible that Hadrian's child might inherit the throne. Despite only being a few days old, Hector Deval's impact upon the Empire could be measured in centuries. Standoff for ACT and Theta 7. Terrorist ringleader Theta 7 is defying capture by holding thousands of Far God cultists hostage in the Madrid Sea.
You have less than no fire
Frameshift
zone.
drive
Good luck
charging.
and fly safely, Commander.
Vox Galactica Public.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And on the scene report from freelance journalist Redmond O'Hara. Although the NMLA has been defeated in Madrid, the Theta Group bomb makers remain in control of the sacrosanct megaship. With so many lives at stake, ACT has focused all its efforts to resolve this tense situation. We've heard that Senior Agent Ramirez and Inspector Klatt have both tried to open negotiations directly with Theta 7. It is hard to imagine what they might offer him in terms of clemency, but they're obviously determined to prevent further deaths at the NMLA's hands. After speaking to one of ACT's tactical advisors, I can reveal that Captain Castile's commando unit tried and failed to board the Sacrosanct as it did the Steel Majesty. This is apparently because the vessel is specially modified to prevent external access in order to provide the Far God cultists with a sanctified environment during their pilgrimage. Speaking of the cultists, they may not have accepted their predicament quite as passively as expected. Internal power failures detected within the Sacrosanct's hyperdrive systems may well be a result of sabotage and would explain why it hasn't left the Madrid system. Perhaps in their own way, the Thargoid worshippers are seeking justice for those murdered by Theta 7's appropriation of their deity's holy caustic enzymes. Dredger clan resumes nomadic travels. Pilots Federation alert. The Scrivener's clan Dredger has departed from the Utjost PC CC290 system to an unknown destination. Freelance reporter Casey Kilpatrick provided a report for Vox Galactica. After a coalition of supporters helped them to bypass Orion University's override codes, the Scriveners
Hull integrity
clan
compromised.
has finally resumed their nomadic lifestyle. To its credit, the university has finally taken stock of public opinion and agreed not to pursue its ownership claims over the ancient dredger. Many in the scientific community have pointed out that the contents of the knowledge core, around which the Scrivener's entire culture is based, will now remain a mystery. There are rumors that this tribe of academic researchers have acquired data about the Guardians during their decades of wandering, which was perhaps the real prize sought by Orion University. Concerns have also been raised about the Scrivener's chances of survival if they encounter hostile forces. Had the Scientia Eterna megaship been allowed to accompany the dredger, it could have offered protection or at least called for assistance. Now that the Scrivener's clan have resumed a solitary existence, their fate is once again entirely in their hands. Empire celebrates newborn Duval. Pilots Federation alert. A new chapter in the Duval family's history has begun with the birth of Hadrian Augustus Duval's son. The announcement was made by the Imperial Herald. Lady Astrid Minerva Duval, wife of Hadrian Duval, has delivered a baby boy at an undisclosed secure location while under senatorial protection. The child has been named Hector Mordanticus Duval. This is in honor of Hadrian's late father Hector Jansen, who was Emperor Hengist's illegitimate son, as well as Imperator Caeso Mordanticus, who played a major role in both Hadrian and Astrid's lives. Despite Hadrian not being an official member of the imperial family, many citizens are jubilant at the arrival of a new Duval. The Imperial Palace, Princess Aisling Duval and Chancellor Anders Blaine have all sent messages of congratulation. Praetor Leo Magnus, who was Hadrian Duval's head of security, has resigned his temporary commission from ACT to assume leadership of Nova Parisa. The faction has organized an initiative
Programming lipid drone.
to gather rare commodities for its former leader to celebrate the historic occasion. Pilots are asked to deliver Chateau de Aegean, HR
Prospector limpet engaged.
7221 wheat, Indy Bourbon, and Yasso
Scan detected.
leave to Dyson City in the Parisa system. All shipments will be subject to security scanning before being redirected to a suitable location. Battle of Madrid ends in NMLA defeat. Pilots Federation alert. The Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid has been defeated by the Epsilon Fornarchus Empire group in the Madrid system. With the aid of many independent pilots, the Imperial faction outmatched the NMLA supporting forces who were attempting to rescue their leader Theta 7. Captain Saskia Landau provided an update from ACT. Using the fierce fighting as cover, Captain Milo Castile led a commando unit made up of specialists from Alliance, Federal and Imperial security forces to gain access to the Steel Majesty. After
Asteroid scan complete.
freeing and arming the crew members that were being held hostage, they overpowered the NMLA troops and retook the megaship. We have successfully prevented Theta 7 and his followers from rejoining their fellow terrorists. But the Far God cult's vessel, the Sacrosanct, is still in the system under his control. Until the man responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths has been captured, our victory over the NMLA remains incomplete. The Epsilon Fornarchus Empire group stated that those who supported its campaign can now receive their rewards from Payne Scott City Starport. The Imperial faction also agreed that independent
Programming lipid drone.
pilots who fought for the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid will be permitted to collect payment from the Steel Majesty, which has been transferred to their ownership.
That's pretty much it.
Prospector limpet engaged.
Thargoid invasion of nebula systems intensifies. Pilots Federation alert. Systems in the California, Coalsack, Pleiades and Witch Head nebulas are under sustained assault by the Thargoids. Vox Galactica featured this report from freelance war correspondent Ernesto Rios. Multiple starports have been crippled by Thargoid attacks in recent weeks, with anti-Xeno squadrons struggling to protect them. Many commanders told me that this latest wave is proving
Asteroid scan complete.
Another good one right over
unusually
there.
difficult to repel, with a steady stream of reinforced
Programming limpet drone. Prospect to limpet failed.
placing those alien vessels destroyed in battle. In normal times, Aegis would coordinate the defense effort, but its operations remain suspended due to the Bauman inquiry. Today, it is clear that many of the superpowers' leaders have more faith in Salvation after his triumph in the Corsair system, believing that he holds the key to defeating the Thargoids. Both the Imperial Navy
Prospect to limpet engaged.
and the Alliance's Council of Admirals have suggested committing
Asteroid scan complete.
naval forces to support Salvation. In the Federation, Congress has debated redirecting funds that were ring-fenced for Aegis to accelerate development of the anti-Xeno superweapon. As yet, these are merely discussions, but do illustrate the wide-reaching impact of the Corsair incident. In the meantime, in the absence of direct support from either Aegis or Salvation, pilots
Detonation sequence initiated.
are sacrificing their lives as they fight courageously to push back the Thargoid fleets. Aegis renegades face criminal charges. Admiral Aidan Tanner and the crew of the Musashi megaship will be placed on trial for attacking Salvation's allies. The Admiral disobeyed orders by attempting to gain access to Hindmine Starport, the headquarters of Taurus Mining Ventures. After failing to achieve this, most of the Musashi's crew members were detained and repatriated to their respective home systems to face civil or military charges. The Federal Navy has published this official notice. Admiral Tanner is formally accused of mutiny and unlawful military action while in command of the Musashi. He will stand trial in a general court-martial. If found guilty, he will be dishonorably discharged and imprisoned for life. Dr. Paul Bauman, chair of the Independent Board of Inquiry into Aegis, commented, "Recent events in the T-Tauri system clearly fall within the scope of our investigation. For Aegis's chief military liaison to launch an unauthorized
Detonation in 10 seconds.
attack at the cost of many lives will weigh heavily against the organization." Admiral Tanner claims that the anti-Xeno superweapon deployed by Salvation
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
has triggered an
Programming limpet drone.
increase in Thargoid attacks. Although there is no direct evidence of this, the Thargoids
Gyroscope deployed.
have performed coordinated strikes against several systems in the weeks since that event. Colonia Bridge project extended to 3,308. Pilots Federation alert. The second phase of the Colonia Bridge project is complete, with Brewer Corporation confirming details for Phase 3. An additional 26 megaships have taken up stationary positions in systems between Alcor and Colonia. Along with the existing 30 megaships, these will provide convenient rest, refuel and repair facilities to those traveling to and from the distant Colonia region. A press release from Brewer Corporation addressed the next steps. The galactic community has made enormous contributions to establishing the Colonia Bridge. Encouraged by this, we have revised our plans and increased investment in the project. The next phase is scheduled to commence on the 6th of January 3308 and will add starports to key locations along the route. These will provide further services and opportunities to pilots, as well as forming permanent micro-communities between the core systems and Colonia. Phase 3 will also address the availability of tritium to improve refueling capacity for owners of our Drake-class fleet carriers. To incentivize the delivery of vital materials, we will be offering the same engineered frame shift drives that proved so popular during Phase 2. The Battle of Madrid. Pilots Federation alert. The Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid and the Epsilon Fornarchus Empire Group have declared war in the Madrid system. The Steel Majesty megaship is serving as the base of the Neo-Marlinist forces. These include many surviving NMLA terrorist cells that gathered to overtake the vessel from the Marlinist colonies. Also in the system is the Far God Cult megaship Sacrosanct, where the NMLA's de facto leader Theta 7 and the remnants of Theta Group have been in hiding for months. They recently took control of the vessel and are holding thousands of cultists hostage. The Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid have offered a uniquely augmented enzyme missile rack to its highest contributors if certain objectives are met. Margrave Corentin Delacroix broadcast a call to arms. All those who seek to topple the Duval dictators must fight alongside us here and now. Neo-Marlinism has no future unless its believers defend it. The Epsilon Fornarchus Empire Group is orchestrating its campaign from Payne Scott City Starport. Senator Denton Patrios has requested that Imperial auxiliaries provide the faction with combat support. ACT's co-leader Captain Saskia Landor stated, "The NMLA clearly places huge value on Theta 7's ability to produce caustic enzyme weapons, and has risked concentrating in large numbers to defend him. If he can transfer to the Steel Majesty and escape, the threat of further atrocities like the 9 Martyrs bombings will remain high." Dredger clan freed from Orion University. Pilots Federation alert. The Scrivener's clan dredger has been fully repaired, following twin initiatives in the HIP-4 3670 system. A campaign by supporters of the Scrivener's clan delivered emergency power cells, power converters and power transfer buses to the Alliance of HIP-42371 at Oremus Terminal. A spokesperson for the group announced, "As a result of our efforts, the dredger has received sufficient supplies to effect repairs. Most importantly, the new power systems mean it will shortly be able to bypass Orion University's override codes and be free to travel the galaxy once more." A parallel campaign by Orion University's partner
Cargo scoop retracted.
Independent HIP-4 3670 Labor requested deliveries of anomalous bulk scan data, unusual encrypted files and unidentified scan archives to Shara Gateway and HIP-4 3670. However, these were not sufficient to convince the nomadic tribe to agree to its offer of sharing future discoveries. Vice-Chancellor Leland Pettigrew expressed his regret, but confirmed that Orion University will honor the outcome and withdraw its claim over the dredger. Contributors to both initiatives can now collect their rewards from Shara Gateway or Oremus Terminal in the HIP-4 3670 system. Gatekeeper megaships established. Factions responsible for the distribution of conditional access permits have deployed so-called Gatekeeper megaships to neighboring systems. The agreement between 14 factions intends to allow permit distribution procedures to continue regardless of the political status of the associated systems. Though the reason for system access restrictions varies between the factions, preventing any disruption to interstellar trade was a key factor in the talks. A spokesperson for Alioth Independence, one of the factions involved, offered the following. "It is rare that so many participants from across the core systems are able to reach an agreement so easily. These megaships will ensure that the flow of traffic within our respective borders remains appropriate,
Prospector limpet engaged.
controlled, providing support for the permit offices in those systems. Only a few short years ago, the system of Tiliana saw disruption in assigning permits to eligible visitors due to political disturbances. The Panjabel system experienced this problem again within recent months. These lessons have inspired us to prevent further repetition
Asteroid scan complete.
in the future. I would like to thank each faction representative for their contributions,
Programming limpet drone.
maintaining consistency in our methods for the ease of pilots, recognizing the valuable contributions they make to the galactic economy. Permit distribution to eligible recipients will still be carried out remotely. Fargod megaship hijacked by
Prospector limpet engaged.
Theta 7. NMLA figurehead Theta 7 has taken control of the Sacrosanct megaship and redirected it to the Madrid system. Several months ago, the leader of Theta Group and his closest aides evaded capture by posing as members of the Fargod cult. One of their pilgrimage vessels, the Sacrosanct, has now bypassed its scheduled flight plan and jumped to Madrid. ACT's joint leader Captain Milo Castile broadcast an emergency statement. "We can confirm that despite being few in number, the terrorists are in command of the Sacrosanct. Since Far God worshippers are pacifists and fatalistic in nature, it's likely that they
Asteroid scan complete.
offered little resistance. Theta 7 has stated that he will wipe out the vessel's entire population if any attempt to seize the vessel is made. Our intel suggests he possesses caustic enzyme explosives of the type used in the starport bombings, making his threat credible. Also in the system is the Steel Majesty megaship, recently overtaken by the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid. ACT believes that the NMLA is regrouping its forces and aims to provide protection for Theta 7. Madrid's ruling faction, the Epsilon Fornarchus Empire Group, has ordered
Programming limpet drone.
some security to shoot down any vessels attempting to pass between the two megaships. Crime wave raises security concerns. An expert
Prospector limpet engaged.
larcenist known as the Winking Cat has triggered widespread alarm with a spree of high-profile thefts. Vox Galactica published this feature by crime correspondent
Asteroid scan complete.
Mara Bukowski. Last month, the galaxy's most infamous thief reappeared in the headlines after a long absence. It appears the Winking Cat is making up for lost time by stealing multiple items in quick succession. One notable target was a portrait of Emperor Alban Henson de Val, the 10th ruler of the Empire. Painted in 2989, it was notable for being 7 meters high, as was the graphic of a smirking feline face engraved on the wall where it once hung. Another disappearance, albeit of a less artistic nature, was the only working prototype of Achilles Corporation's XS 1001 security robot. This was being guarded by several XS 801 models which, according to insiders, were found lying on their sides and emitting an unusual purring sound. There are reports of several other rare or precious artifacts
Programming limpet drone.
disappearing from secure locations. In all cases, there are no clues as to how security systems were circumvented. The Wallglass Investigations Agency has theorized that the Winking Cat may not
Prospector limpet engaged.
be an individual after all, but a group of criminal specialists working together. They also suspect that these latest thefts may be intended for some larger purpose.
Asteroid scan complete.
Colonia Bridge project faces possible changes. Brewer Corporation is enhancing the travel corridor to Colonia, but details about the project's next phase remain uncertain. Business-related newsfeed the Tau Cetai Journal published this feature. There's no doubt that Brewer Corporation
Programming limpet drone.
always thinks big. It has enjoyed huge commercial success as a manufacturer of starports and outposts, and its Drake-class fleet carrier has been enormously popular. The Colonia
Prospector limpet engaged.
Bridge is the megacorp's most expensive undertaking yet, investing hundreds of billions of credits on the transportation infrastructure between the core systems and Colonia. More than one analyst predicted that the project might financially destabilize them. The first two phases proceeded on schedule. Before the end of this month, there will be a chain of 56 stationary megaships along systems between Alcor and Colonia. But there are rumors
Programming limpet drone.
of a change of plans for Phase 3, which may be early next year. It is believed that Brewer Corporation is revising its plans
Asteroid scan complete.
based on the unexpectedly high levels of participation from the galactic community.
Prospector limpet engaged.
In support of this, one company insider did reveal that more engineered frame shift drives are being manufactured to be offered as incentives to contributing pilots in the third phase. Neo-Marlinist forces gather in Madrid. The megaship Steel Majesty has arrived in the Madrid system after being taken over by NMLA terrorists. Its original owning faction, the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid, has officially reclaimed the vessel.
Programming limpet drone.
Margrave Corentin Delacroix,
Asteroid scan complete.
the faction's new military ruler and the son of former Landgrave
Prospector limpet engaged.
Rastin Delacroix, announced, "The Steel Majesty has returned home to fulfill its destiny. Be warned, should any ships attempt to board or attack, all the former crew members
Collector limpet expired.
on board will be executed. Senior Agent Tanya Ramirez gave a statement on behalf of ACT. Unfortunately, we cannot take action while hundreds of innocent people remain captive. But the NMLA's effort to assemble troops, supporters, and resources must not succeed. Having the Steel Majesty as a mobile base will allow them to regroup for a new campaign of terror, especially if they manage to reach Theta 7 before we do. A spokesperson for the Epsilon Fornarchus Empire Group, which controls the Madrid system, claimed, "The hostages should be considered lost as casualties of war. We are prepared to perform our duty for the Empire once again by destroying the neo-Marlinist threat." Dredger deadlock inspires competing campaigns. Pilots Federation alert. The
Programming limpet drone.
43670 system is hosting 2 competing delivery initiatives, each of which aims to benefit the Scrivener's clan. Orion University has partnered with independent hip
Prospector limpet engaged.
43670 Labor, which is requesting deliveries of anomalous bulk scan data, unusual encrypted files, and unidentified scan archives. Shara Gateway in HIP 43670. The university's campaign was
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed.
Vice-Chancellor Leland Pettigrew. Although Dredger J403 is legally our property, what we value most is the Scrivener's clan's dedication to deep space research. To convince them of our noble intentions,
Prospector limpet engaged.
we are donating scientific data and samples to their knowledge core. Our proposal is that they permit us to accompany them on their journey and share in any future discoveries. An alternative campaign is also taking place in the HIP 43670 system. Supporters of the Scrivener's clan are being asked to gather emergency power cells, power converters, and power transfer buses and deliver them to the Alliance of HIP 42371 at Oramus Terminal. A spokesperson told the media, "These supplies are needed to perform vital repairs to the dredger. Furthermore, if the power systems are sufficiently updated, they can bypass the ancient components affected by Orion University's override
Programming limpet drone.
code
Prospector limpet failed.
and continue traveling independently. Although there remains no response from the Scrivener's clan, the dredger is now actively monitoring all local and
Prospector limpet engaged.
interstellar transmissions. This is a new development for the isolated community and suggests they are aware of these campaigns. Salvation's allies triumph in T-Tauri system. Pilots Federation alert. Taurus Mining Ventures has defeated a rogue Aegis defense force and gained control of the megaship Musashi. The conflict was initiated by Admiral Aidan Tanner,
Programming limpet drone.
Chief Military Liaison with
Asteroid scan complete.
Aegis. He was attempting to gain access to Hindmine asteroid base in search of evidence that Salvation's
Prospector limpet engaged.
anti-Xeno weapon was deliberately designed to provoke the Thargoids. Patience Middleton, a spokesperson for Taurus Mining Ventures, made this announcement. This was an illegal and unnecessary conflict brought about by Admiral Tanner's misguided obsession. We will continue working with Salvation to eliminate the Thargoid threat. Our defense was only possible thanks to our
Programming limpet drone.
courageous
Prospector limpet failed.
supporters, for whom rewards are available at Hindmine. We will also honor agreements that the Aegis Defense Force made with independent pilots
Prospector limpet engaged.
who can collect their promised payments from the Musashi. Taurus Mining Ventures later confirmed that all members of the Musashi's original crew will be allowed to leave the megaship unharmed. Admiral Tanner and other key personnel are in temporary custody. Aegis has arranged for them to be transferred to its internal security teams. Salvation recruits naval crews. The recent counterstrike against the Thargoids has revealed that Salvation is being unofficially supported by trained military personnel. Commodore Morag Halloran was a senior officer with the Alliance
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed.
Defense Force who is now working for Salvation. She
Asteroid scan complete.
said
Prospector limpet engaged.
statement to the media. Over the last few years, I have fought hard to protect Allied interests from the Thargoids. but every battle against them felt like a defensive measure, a holding action. I'm convinced that these creatures are more than capable of wiping us all out. When an entire Thargoid fleet was forced out of the Corsair system in September, I approached the Council of Admirals about sending ships to help, but my proposal was rejected. Then Salvation contacted me directly, saying that he required military leadership and my experiences in the Kolsak Nebula made me an ideal candidate. Along with
Asteroid scan complete.
Lieutenant Commander Glynn and nearly 100 crewmates, we resigned
Programming limpet drone.
our commissions and headed for Hindmine. I now command many others who were recruited from the Federal,
Prospector limpet engaged.
Imperial and Sirius navies to serve on the Taurus megaships and
Asteroid scan complete.
elsewhere. I'm aware that some will view my actions as dereliction of duty, but I believe our true duty is to stop the Thargoids at any cost. And as our recent success proves, only Salvation has the means of doing so. The Alliance Assembly, Federal Congress, and Imperial Senate have all acknowledged the loss of some military personnel to Salvation's cause. While efforts are being made to prevent further losses, it is rumored that potential concessions include official support for Salvation's anti-Xeno activities. NMLA megaship becomes Marlinist flagship. The megaship Steel Majesty has traveled from Madrid
Programming limpet drone.
to the
Prospector limpet failed.
22550 system and been renamed as Fairfax Vision. The Wells-class carrier was originally
Hold on, peoples.
Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete.
it just takes like
Prospector limpet engaged.
because this shit takes so goddamn ever. This is definitely a dinosaur. That much I can honestly tell you. It is a core asteroid.
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged.
Wow, bro, it fucking lied to me. It said, "Cheat my shit." It said, "Ah, yeah, no, fuck you, guy. Better luck next year."
Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone.
Never know till you know.
Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Prospector limpet engaged.
for the interest.
Programming liquid drone.
I gave you enough money to take a cab one way.
Prospector limpet engaged.
No, it's not even worth my aggravation. It's not worth my stress. Bro, I got other goddamn things I'm stressed about. I don't need that too. Hey, finally a car. Fuck ass up in the middle.
Asteroid scan complete. Programming liquid drone.
That shit better be a fuck ass car.
Prospector limpet
I
engaged.
give up on this. All of a sudden, but it gave me one and told me to fuck right off with it. I've shot at every goddamn gully rock. Specifically like what I just told you guys not to do, I'm doing it.
Programming liquid drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Prospector limpet failed. Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete. Programming liquid drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete.
We're just gonna look it down. We're gonna set this motherfucker on a straight direct path, bro. And if the damn asteroid is not two of them in a row, I'm not even bothering. I'll go here. Gonna go like here. Come back down this way, come back down that way, and then down, sir. Up some, zoom out. sure we got a big on field of vision.
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete. engaged. Prospector limpet engaged.
Alright guys, I'm killing my mic.
Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Prospector limpet engaged. Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Prospector limpet engaged. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Asteroid scan complete. Prospector limpet engaged. Hull integrity compromised. Shields offline. Taking damage. Asteroid scan complete. Shields offline. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet engaged. Programming limpet drone. Prospector limpet failed. Asteroid scan complete. Prospector limpet engaged. Asteroid scan complete.